From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Tuesday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey.
Good morning. I'm Rafael Sanchez, and these are your headlines on this November the 24th. Developers are scrapping a controversial project after backlash from the community. What some groups hope will happen now, this will pay tribute to Black history.
Local emergency responders getting new training to help COVID-19 patients. We'll take a look at the resources they are now using to better serve the community in this pandemic.
And an arrest has been made in the murder of Sarah Blackwood. What we know about the charges and the next steps in this ongoing investigation. Thank you for starting your day with us here on Good Morning Indiana. And it looks like the gang is back. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, the gang is all here, Raphael. We've got Todd Clausen back from his day off, and he has a check of radar, which looks pretty active this morning, Todd.
Yeah, you know, it's a bit of a wet start for us here across the area. The good news is none of this is real heavy rainfall, and it's not snow. It's just plain old rain. You may see a few flakes mixed in and some heavier pockets of rain, but even if you see a flake or two, we are not talking about any accumulating snow. You don't have to worry about slick conditions as far as snow accumulating on the roadways. Obviously, rain, though, can make the roadways slick, so if you encounter some of the showers, just give yourself a little bit of extra time. Light rain from Indy back towards the Brownsburg area. A little pocket of heavier rain here in Hamilton County up near the Noblesville and Cicero area. And as we slide back off towards the west a little further, some heavier rain Williamsport down to Vetersburg over into Crawfordsville. So this does impact I-74 there on the western side of the state. And then there's some light rain showers here over towards Greensburg as well as Rushville. This is not an all-day rain. That is the good news for us. This wave is going to make its way towards Chicago, so we're just on the far eastern side of it. That's why we only deal with these showers this morning, and by this afternoon we're done with the rain. Unfortunately, though, we're not going to get rid of the clouds. It's not going to be a bright day for us by any means across the area. Temperatures are in the 30s and 40s here this morning, and going forward throughout the course of the day, we really just don't warm because of the cloud cover. We'll have temperatures in the mid 40s, and then as we get into the evening hours, temperatures will be right around 46 degrees. So have the umbrella handy this morning or just a light rain jacket. You will not need it this afternoon. More on your extended forecast, including Thanksgiving, coming up in just a few minutes, Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take a look at the roads right now as you're heading out the door. This is I-465, a little south of English Avenue. We're over on the east side of town where traffic is pretty quiet this morning, traveling up to speed. Just watch for those wet roads out there as you're heading out the door this Tuesday. And of course, we'll keep you updated on any delays or trouble spots that you should avoid. It is 5:03. Plans for a large apartment complex here in downtown Indianapolis have been dropped.
Our Kelsey Anderson, who is back from vacation. Kelsey, welcome back. Joins us live this morning to explain why the decision comes after a major outcry from local leaders dedicated to preserving history. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So stopping downtown development is not something that is usually celebrated, but here on Indiana Avenue, there is excitement from grassroots organizers determined to reclaim this area. Mallory Irvin and Jeff Williams are among the loud voices who pushed back against plans from local development group Buckingham Companies to build a large apartment building with a parking garage and retail space directly between the Indianapolis Urban League office and the Madam Walker Legacy Center. That plan was met with much criticism, mostly through online petitioning from the group Reclaim Indiana Avenue. Now Buckingham Companies has dropped its plans for the project.
It was affirmation that myself and others, our voice matters and our opinion matters when it comes to development in our community.
Now, these organizers say they are not against development on Indiana Avenue. In fact, that's exactly what they want. But they want the project to reflect Indiana's rich Black history and culture, which was birthed along this avenue. Now, in a statement to WRTV, a spokesperson for Buckingham Companies cited COVID-19 as the reason for the change in plans to Indiana Avenue, saying in part, despite the best intentions of everyone involved, the pursuit of a feasible project was undermined by the impact of a once-in-a-100-years pandemic that took away the reasonable opportunity to complete the development at this time. We appreciate the efforts and leadership of the Madam Walker Legacy Center and all other stakeholders with an interest in this incredibly important site. Now, both Irvin and Williams say they want to see Indiana Avenue reimagined from its current undeveloped state, and developers should be aware that the community is paying attention. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. Now to the latest on COVID-19. Indiana has now surpassed 300,000 total cases of the virus. The State Department of Health reports 5,606 new cases. That's the first time in 5 days that the new cases have been below 6,000. 27 more Hoosiers have also died with the virus, bringing the state's death toll to 5,067. More than 2 million Hoosiers have been tested for the virus so far. Overall, 14.4% have tested positive.
Some first responders are getting new resources to help possible COVID patients. Field resource paramedics in Westfield have new training to respond to 911 calls for people with coronavirus symptoms. If a patient reports difficulty breathing, a cough, fever, chills, fatigue, headache, or loss of taste or smell, the team will be deployed to conduct a rapid test. The results take about 15 minutes.
Really, I think the test will do two things. It will reduce spread in the community by identifying people who have the coronavirus. If they're well enough to stay at home and quarantine with some resources that we can provide them, that identifies them and will help reduce the spread. And secondly, it will help reduce the strain on the hospital systems that are either near or at capacity.
Westfield officials say this testing is not for people with mild or no COVID symptoms. But remember, anyone who works or lives in Indiana can get tested for COVID for free. For more information on that, go to coronavirus.in.gov. And for more perspective on the COVID crisis in our state, watch our WRTV special report tonight. You'll hear from a 30-year-old man who survived a terrifying battle with the virus, plus candid conversations with healthcare workers who are putting their lives on the line to protect you, and everything that you need to know about the potential vaccines. Watch Inside the COVID Crisis. That's airing tonight right here on WRTV tonight at 7.
It is 5:07. While Indianapolis public schools are scheduled to continue with remote learning through January, the district is still making sure that meals are provided. Distribution begins today from 8 to 10 and then again from noon to 3. Breakfast and lunch will be served on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 25 drive-through locations throughout the district. There will not be any service on Thanksgiving. The meals are available to any child under the age of 18, regardless if they attend an IPS school. For a list of times and locations, you can go to myips.org. Another organization is helping to make sure that Hoosiers in need do not go hungry. The No Questions Asked Food Pantry is one of the many resources available. The grassroots organization is based out of the Church Within in Fountain Square. It provides groceries, hot meals, hygiene, and cleaning supplies to anyone in need. No identification or proof of address is required.
We are here just to provide. The government has decided not to provide for the people, so we are here to do that. The need during the pandemic has just gone up exponentially. Like the number of people when we first started that we used to serve, that we would serve in like a month, we now serve in like a day.
Well, manager Amber Toombs says that the pantry relies solely on volunteers and donations. For more information, go to WRTV.com and click on this story.
Metro Police have made an arrest in a homicide that really raised fears in the transgender community. IMPD announced a suspect is facing murder and robbery charges in connection to the death of 39-year-old Sarah Blackwood. Friends say that Blackwood was walking home from work last month when she was shot and killed on East Washington Street. Investigators have not released a motive for that shooting, but at the time of Blackwood's death, the Human Rights Campaign said it marked at least the 33rd violent death of a transgender or gender nonconforming person in the United States this year.
And a suspect is in a separate October homicide is also in custody now. He's facing charges in connection of the death of 19-year-old Michael Williams. Williams was found dead on Longview Lane near Tibbs Avenue between 21st Street and Lafayette Road on the west side. That investigation is still ongoing. The time right now is 5:09. It is Tuesday morning. Let's get a check of our forecast with Todd. Todd, what's radar saying to us this morning?
You know, there's some showers out there, as you can see behind me, and as we work your way into parts of northern Indiana, it's mixing with a few snowflakes. Now, I know the snow always jumps out at you, right? Even if you see a few flakes, it's not going to cause any issues on the roadways. Temperatures are above freezing. What happens is within some of the heavier bursts of rain, the air around the raindrops can get cooled enough that it turns over to a few snowflakes. That's what you're seeing on radar here. But when it hits the ground, it's just going to melt away. So you don't have to worry about any accumulating snow, but the ground will be wet here, Covington to Crawfordsville. This includes a lot of I-74. And then as you look off towards the east here, a few scattered showers, but not much action as far as rain goes as you work your way towards Muncie and Richmond. By far the heaviest of the shower activity is if you're taking I-65 up towards the Lafayette area and then beyond towards Chicago. The good news is this rain, we only deal with it for a few hours. It's pretty spotty in nature. So as far as whether you need to have the umbrella handy or not, I would grab it this morning. Some of these showers will linger into about the 9-10 o'clock hour, but otherwise we're just in pretty good shape here going forward throughout the afternoon hours. If you're going to be out late this evening, though, you'll need to have the umbrella once again. We're talking after sunset. More on the heavier rainfall that's heading our way for tomorrow coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. President-elect Joe Biden can officially begin his transition to the White House. Coming up, how President Trump is reacting to the letter confirming Biden's victory.
And millions of GM vehicles are being recalled after a dangerous defect in airbags. Working for you, what you need to know if your vehicle is affected.
And here's a live look right now at your commute. This is up on the northwest side, I-465 and West 86th Street. You can see wet roads out there. Traffic is pretty quiet. We'll have more news, weather, and traffic for you coming up just after the break. Stick around. So after weeks of delay, President Trump has authorized the federal government to start the transition process for President-elect Joe Biden.
This morning, ABC's Elizabeth Schulze reports on his historic cabinet announcements.
16 days after President-elect Joe Biden was declared the winner of the election and dozens of failed lawsuits later, President Trump is allowing the formal transition process to begin. The General Services Administration notifying the Biden team Monday that it will now have access to $6 million in federal funding, office space in government buildings, and classified information the president-elect has said is critical for planning his administration's response to the pandemic.
It would make it a lot easier if the president were to participate.
Without conceding he lost, Trump tweeted, "Initiating transition protocols is in the best interests of our country," saying he instructed his team to cooperate, but later adding, "We're moving full speed ahead with legal action contesting the election results." Yet as case after case from the Trump campaign is dismissed in the courts, and as a growing number of states, including Michigan, have certified their election results, even some of the president's biggest supporters are calling his legal challenges flawed.
They promised blockbuster stuff, and then nothing happened. And that's not, well, it's not good.
Biden has still been moving forward and making history with key cabinet appointments. He's expected to name former Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen as the first woman to be Treasury Secretary, and is also nominating the first female director of national intelligence and the first Latino director of Homeland Security. Biden says he's prepared for some fights over his nominees.
So do you expect Republicans to put up any significant roadblocks to your nominations?
Are you kidding me?
And in one more sign, President Trump is accepting the reality he lost the election. Sources tell ABC News Secret Service agents in the president's detail are being asked whether they would transfer to Palm Beach, Florida full time, where the president has his Mar-a-Lago residence. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
Well, we are learning more about who will get priority for a COVID-19 vaccine. According to the Associated Press, the Federal Bureau of Prisons have been telling wardens and other staff members to prepare to get vaccinated within weeks. Although inmates have been spreading the virus among each other, it's mostly employees that have been bringing it in. It's unclear as of right now how many vaccine doses prisons will get for their staff. Throughout the pandemic, prisons have been a concern since proper social distancing is virtually impossible.
And Netflix, Lauren, has had a record year of new subscribers during this pandemic, and now it's set to start offering more jobs. The streaming service has announced plans to expand its studio complex in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It would make it one of the largest production hubs in North America. That means new construction jobs and more than 1,000 production positions opening up over the next decade. Albuquerque's city council still needs to approve the plans before Netflix can get started. And Todd, when you and Lauren are talking, that's what I'm watching at home, Netflix, just between commercials, just to keep me busy.
What's your choice of show?
Well, The West Wing, The Crown, there's so many things to watch, Todd.
All right. Sounds like you got it all lined up. And today's going to be a good day to stay inside, at least this morning, and maybe watch a little bit of TV. Of course, after Good Morning Indiana and Good Morning America get off the air later on this morning. But here's a live look. White River State Park and the zoo with the Christmas lights on, and you can see the ground is wet with the shine there from the lights. 40 degrees with some rain showers moving through the metro area. Feels like 34 though when you factor in that east wind, and temperatures are above freezing in all locations. That's the good news, and they're holding pretty steady, and that's better news for those of you in Peru over towards Richmond, where we're dipping down into the mid 30s now. The rest of the area, especially off to the west and southwest, into the low 40s, and here's why that's key, is because we have some precipitation making its way through the area. A live look at radar right now, and you can see just a few light showers here in and around the metro area, extending over towards Greenfield and then into the Rushville area. As we slide back off to the west, there's some pockets of heavier rainfall, and within some of these heavier bursts of rain, you notice a little bit of a changeover to some snowflakes in the Crawfordsville area. Don't be shocked if you do see a few snowflakes here this morning in spots as you look out the window, but we're not expecting any accumulation. That's the good news, at least here in central Indiana, up towards Fowler, Monticello, Delphi, and Logansport. We're still dealing with a few light rain showers. You notice the change over to some snow showers there to the north. This wave of rain will make its way through the area this morning. The heart of the area of low pressure is still well off to our west, and that's going to bypass us to the Chicago area, and then eventually towards Green Bay with this area of low pressure. So we're just kind of on the eastern fringe of this system. So as it works its way through the area, by the time we get to about 9-10 o'clock, as you see on TrueCast here, we're starting to wrap the rain up, and then throughout the afternoon hours, it's just going to be a great day with lots of clouds around. Temperatures aren't really going to move a whole lot throughout the day today because of that cloud cover, as we'll only be in the 40s throughout much of the day. The rain again comes to an end by mid-morning, and then just cloudy skies, temperatures in the upper 40s to right around 50 degrees. This evening is cloudy but dry if you have plans. Notice the temperatures holding pretty steady in the mid-40s. Let's jump to tomorrow now for you, because even though we have some rain showers in the forecast today, tomorrow is going to be a pretty wet day for us. And I know on a typical Thanksgiving, many people are traveling on a Wednesday. The good news is if you are traveling at least here across central Indiana, we're dealing with temperatures in the 50s. So we're well above freezing, but there could be some pockets of heavier rain and some thunderstorms tomorrow across the area. And this rain comes in tomorrow right around when we're dealing with the rain right now throughout the morning drive and the morning hours. In fact, it could be pretty heavy in southern locations. Here we are at 5 a.m., so just about 24 hours from now. And there's some pockets of moderate rainfall to the south. That wave goes through, then more rain heads our way off and on throughout the day tomorrow. Wednesday is definitely going to be a day that you are going to want to have the umbrella handy, and maybe the rain boots as well, as some areas could see over an inch of rain. The good news is for Thanksgiving Day itself, though, the rain is out of here. It's not going to be the brightest Thanksgiving with mostly cloudy skies, but it will be above normal at 54. Friday and Saturday look really nice as well. Then as we get into Sunday and next week, cooler temperatures are set to arrive with maybe some rain and snow showers starting Monday morning with temperatures in the 20s. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out the door this morning. Here's a look over on the east side, I-70, a view near Post Road where traffic is traveling smoothly. We'll keep you updated if there are any crashes out there for your commute, but right now things are traveling up to speed around the metro area. Raphael?
So Lauren, working for you this morning, General Motors is now announcing a huge and expensive recall of millions of its trucks and SUVs after losing a 4-year battle with federal regulators. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration mandated the recall, saying nearly 6 million of their vehicles were equipped with dangerous Takata airbags. They've been linked to 27 deaths worldwide and are the largest auto recall in history. The impacted vehicles have model years between 2007 and 2014. They include the Cadillac Escalade, the Chevrolet Avalanche, the Silverado, the Suburban, and Tahoe, as well as the GMC Sierra and the Yukon. GM is now working on a plan to notify all of those vehicle owners.
Well, a Greenwood teen battling cancer granted a big wish. The special surprise that was delivered right to his front door. We'll have that story just after the break. Stick around. Welcome back. It is 5:25 on our Tuesday. Raphael, a Greenwood 15-year-old IndyCar fan, got quite the surprise right outside of his own home.
It was a big surprise, Lauren. Jasper Lenglade has been battling leukemia for the past 3.5 years and was granted a wish from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Now, the teen wished for an iRacing simulator, and yesterday it was hand-delivered to him by his favorite driver, the one and only James Hinchcliffe.
I imagine Jasper will beat me handily in iRacing, but it'd still be fun to get to race him.
I don't know that words can explain it. It's nothing we would have ever been able to do for him, so he has definitely earned it, and we are just grateful that Make-A-Wish and all these organizations could put this together for him. This is just absolutely fantastic.
And of course, we support this young man, hope him all the very best. And that wasn't all. Jasper was also surprised with a parade outside of his home, as you can see. A great parade yesterday here in Greenwood, complete with the Borg Warner Trophy, Andretti Autosports members as well, the Indy Racing Experience Street legal car, and a 500 Festival Princess. All of that, Todd Clausen, is better than a game of golf. And I know how much you love golf, but that experience, holy cow.
I agree. That's a tremendous experience. You got Hinch, you got the trophy, the two-seater. What more could you want in the simulator if you're a racing fan? So great job there by everybody involved. All right, outside right now we're dealing with some rain moving through central Indiana. All the rain's generally light. You notice a little snow there on radar. There could be a few flakes mixed in some of these heavier pockets of rain, but no snow accumulation. But the roadway is definitely going to be wet. The day is not a washout, though. We just deal with rain here throughout about 9, 10 o'clock this morning. And then after that, we're just dealing with cloudy skies. But with the clouds, temperatures don't do a whole lot. 45 by the noon hour with high temperatures stay only in the upper 40s across the area. Heavier rain on the way for tomorrow. More on that and a look ahead to Thanksgiving coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues in just a couple minutes. Stay with us. We'll see you then.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
And we want to thank you for waking up, joining our team here on Good Morning Indiana. It is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and we are pressing on. Raphael, good morning to you there down in Johnson County.
Hey, good morning to you, Lauren. Of course, if you step outside this morning, you will feel that chill in the air, Todd Clausen, and we can see that you have a very busy, active radar this morning.
Yeah, the good news is temperatures are above freezing, though, so we're not going to have any slick conditions on the roadways here this morning as some of this rain starts to make its way through the area. All the rain's generally been pretty scattered and also fairly light. There's a few showers here just north of downtown Indianapolis, a few light rain showers in Greenfield. They had a heavier band of rain in Hamilton County that has now moved out. And then you look off to the west here and you go right up I-65, and that's where you find some of the heavier rainfall that's just getting ready to cross I-65 here in both Tippecanoe and Clinton County as you work your way from Lafayette down towards the Frankfort area. And within some of these pockets of heavier rainfall, that's where we have seen a few flakes mixed in, but it's just an isolated flake or two here or there. And then down to the southeast, there's been some spotty rain showers. This band of rain will take its way through the area pretty quickly here this morning, so we only deal with rain showers for the next couple hours. Most of the daytime hours today are going to be dry with just lots of clouds, but temperatures in the 30s and 40s right now as we work our way throughout the morning hours. Mostly cloudy skies, about 45 degrees by the noon hour, and then we really don't warm a whole lot more from there with highs today only right around 48 to 49 degrees. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic for you this morning. This is I-65 down in Greenwood. You can see traffic there is pretty light. It is frozen a little bit on our camera, freezing up a little bit, but I can tell you that everything is traveling up to speed here on I-65 through Johnson County. No issues to slow you down. So let's take you up to the northeast side. This is I-465 near Binford Boulevard. You can see that traffic there is picking up this morning. Some headlights out that way, but no problems to slow you down. Of course, we'll keep you updated if there are any trouble spots you need to avoid. Raphael?
So, Lauren, it's the end of the road for a multi-billion-dollar project in its planning stages. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning to explain why a large apartment complex will not rise near downtown Indianapolis. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Raphael. So usually when a development downtown is stopped, it's not something that is celebrated. But here on Indiana Avenue, organizers are excited because this has been stopped and they are determined to reclaim Indiana Avenue once again. So Mallory Irvin and Jeff Williams are among the loud voices who pushed back against plans from local development group Buckingham Companies to build a large apartment building with a parking garage and retail space directly between the Indianapolis Urban League office and the Madam Walker Legacy Center. Now, that plan was met with much criticism, mostly through online petitioning from the group Reclaim Indiana Avenue. Now, Buckingham Companies has dropped its plans for the project.
We want when people come through here on the cultural trail or to visit Indiana Avenue for them to feel the spirit of the Black community here. It's working well in cities like D.C., Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, and Houston, and we feel like Indianapolis deserves to have that as well.
Now, these organizers say they are not against development on Indiana Avenue. In fact, that's exactly what they want. But they want the project to reflect Indiana's rich Black history and culture, which was birthed along this avenue. Now, in a statement to WRTV, a spokesperson for Buckingham Companies cited COVID-19 as the reason for this change. And they're saying in part, quote, "Despite the best intentions of everyone involved, the pursuit of a feasible project was undermined by the impact of a once-in-a-100-years pandemic that took away the reasonable opportunity to complete the development at this time. We appreciate the efforts and leadership of the Madam Walker Legacy Center and all the other stakeholders with any interest in this incredibly important site." Now, both Irvin and Williams say they want to see Indiana Avenue reimagined from its current underdeveloped state to what it once was, and rich again in that Black history. They also want developers to know that they are paying attention and they will make sure that what goes on this avenue is with that mission. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. It is 5:35 this morning. A northern Indiana school is the center of an ACLU lawsuit. A student at Manchester Junior Senior High School is suing the school after he was told he couldn't wear a t-shirt. The shirt here read, quote, "I hope I don't get killed for being Black today," end quote. The ACLU lawsuit says the student's First Amendment rights are being violated. The student was sent home after refusing to change the shirt. According to the ACLU, the student's shirt did not violate the school's student handbook. You can read more on this story by downloading the WRTV News app. 5:36 this morning, scammers are stealing Hoosier identities to claim unemployment benefits, and you may not even be aware that it's happening to you. The Indiana Attorney General's office says since January, they've seen an exponential increase in the number of cases of this kind of fraud. Oftentimes, they say that payments are already deposited into the scammers' bank accounts by the time you learn of the fraud. The state says that scammers are targeting the identities of people they know are busy working during the pandemic, like healthcare workers. If you think that your info may have been stolen like this, you can contact the Attorney General's office.
Laura, now to the latest on the pandemic and its impact on our state. This morning, the state health department reports that 5,600 new coronavirus cases. It's the first time in nearly a week that we've dropped to less than 6,000 new cases in a single day. Health officials also say 27 more Hoosiers have died with the virus. That's also the lowest single-day report in a week. Since the pandemic began, nearly 5,100 Hoosiers have died with the virus. State leaders also updated the state's school dashboard on Monday. Over the past week, Indiana schools have reported more than 2,200 new student cases and nearly 1,100 new teacher and staff cases. And as of this morning, nearly 400 Indiana schools are still not reporting their COVID cases to the State Department of Health. WRTV is working for you today and every day, and tonight we're going inside the COVID crisis in Indiana. Tonight you'll hear from a 30-year-old man who survived a harrowing battle with COVID-19. Don't forget to set your DVR for the WRTV news special Inside the COVID Crisis. That's tonight at 7 right here on on WRTV.
This morning, there's concern about a double whammy of the flu and COVID-19. So later today, the Marion County Health Department will hold a special flu shot clinic to reach high-risk and older residents. The drive-up clinic is this afternoon from noon to 4 at the Health Department's community building. That's at 4012 North Rural Street. The no-cost clinic is designed for people with chronic medical conditions and those over the age of 65 who may not want to go out in public and get a flu shot during the pandemic. You will stay in your car for this vaccine.
So this continues to be really a tough time for people, especially if they can't connect with their loved ones like they would normally do during the holidays. And so we're working for you this morning with some resources if you need them or if you want to share them with friends and family. Dialing 211 connects you with resources right here in our community in central Indiana. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is there if you need someone to talk to, even anonymously. Same for the crisis text line. Keep that in mind. And WRTV.com/Rebound Indiana has a number of stories of Hoosiers sharing how they're coping to get through this pandemic as well.
It is 5:39 on your Tuesday. An organization dedicated to feeding Hoosiers has reached a major milestone months ahead of schedule. Second Helpings just provided its 15 millionth meal to the community. The nonprofit has been providing meals to local families for more than 20 years. The organization often distributes through community centers like this one here in Fletcher Place. Leaders say that the need leveled off for a little bit over the summer, but it is climbing again, and there's no sign of a slowdown.
Many of those folks have never had to needed help, never had to go to a food pantry, never had to ask for assistance, and yet they have to look at their kids each day and make sure those kids are fed.
Well, Second Helpings is on track to serve 1 million meals this year alone.
So less fans will be in the stands when Butler University kicks off its season at Hinkle Fieldhouse. So school leaders announced on Monday that 1,500 fans will be able to watch the Bulldogs play in person. That new number is down from 2,200 fans previously announced. Now, the university says the change is voluntary. Now, if you are lucky enough to get inside the historic Hinkle Fieldhouse, you are required to wear a mask and your temperature will be taken.
Well, another IndyCar fan favorite will be getting back on the track for the part of the 2021 season. Longtime WRTV driver analyst Tony Kanaan announcing Monday he's joining Chip Ganassi Racing. Kanaan will be driving the number 48 car in the 4 oval events on the schedule. That includes the Indy 500. 7-time NASCAR champ Jimmy Johnson will be the number 48 on street and road courses. 2020, as you may remember, was supposed to be TK's farewell tour, but the chance to come back with the Ganassi team came just at the right time. Kanaan drove for CGR from 2014 all the way to 2017.
As a race car driver, you want to race for the best team, for the winning team. They have proven on and off that, they're one of the top teams to beat. And then as a race car driver, being selfish, that's where you want to be. It doesn't matter who you talk to. You want to be in a winning team in a big organization that has a lot of resources and so on. So it's not a hard decision. You know what I mean? I think you're asking a kid if he wants to go for an ice cream.
Well, the deal is for the 2021-2022 seasons. Along with Indy, TK will race at Texas and Gateway Motorsports Park near St. Louis. It is 5:41. Let's get a check of our forecast as you're heading out on the roads, Todd.
Yeah, as you take to the roadways, I think you're going to definitely need to have the windshield wipers going at least a little bit here this morning. And you can see that on our scale here for the first few hours. You likely need to use the windshield wipers. But once we get to the afternoon hours, it's unlikely as we'll just be dealing with mostly cloudy skies. So here's what it looks like on radar right now. And off to the east, you really haven't seen a whole lot in the way of rainfall so far this morning. There's been some light showers in the metro area, but it's really been over here in some western and northwestern locales as you work your way away from Indianapolis that we've had some pockets of moderate rainfall, and that still continues here. Lebanon, Frankfort, back into the Crawfordsville area, and then even north up towards Fowler and Monticello. This is the first wave of rain that goes through. I mentioned this afternoon is dry. Well, the second round of rain and the heavier, more widespread rain is going to arrive here late tonight, closer to midnight, and that's going to set us up for a pretty wet Wednesday forecast and the day leading up to Thanksgiving. We'll break that down for you coming up here in just a couple minutes.
Todd, thank you. 2 coronavirus vaccines are one step closer to getting the green light. After the break, the new information on when the FDA could grant approval.
And here's a live look at traffic at I-465 near Kentucky Avenue down on the southwest side of town where things are picking up. As you can see, we're back with more news, weather, and traffic issues coming up here on Good Morning Indiana. Stick around. It is 5:44. Welcome back. This morning, the top Democrat on the Senate Judiciary Committee says that she's stepping down. Senator Dianne Feinstein from California made that announcement on Monday. It comes after she received criticism over her handling of the hearings for Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett. Liberal activists didn't approve of Feinstein's praise of Chairman Lindsey Graham during the hearings. However, she says she'll remain on the Judiciary Committee as a senior Democrat.
Good morning to Lebanon, Anderson, and Greenwood. It looks like the FDA is getting really close to approving 2 COVID-19 vaccines really soon. The agency has asked members of its Vaccine Advisory Committee to reserve December the 17th and 18th for meetings. A source says those meetings are to discuss a vaccine developed by Moderna. Another meeting already on the books for December the 10th will focus on Pfizer's application for emergency use of its vaccine. Moderna and Pfizer, as you know, both claim their vaccine candidates are 95% effective. The FDA consults with its Vaccines and Related Biological Products Advisory Committee before allowing any vaccine to go to market. Lauren?
And Raphael, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has raised its COVID-19 warning for cruise ships to the highest level, saying, quote, all people should avoid going on cruises. The agency says the warning includes river cruises and it applies worldwide. The guidance comes after the CDC lifted its month-long ban on cruise ships operating in and out of U.S. ports at the end of last month. The new guidance says that cruise passengers should get tested 3 to 5 days after their trip. And even if they test negative, once they return home, they should quarantine for 7 days. Back here at home, let's get a check of our forecast on this Tuesday, Todd.
Yeah, starting off with a little bit of rain here across parts of central Indiana. We're going to continue to have rain in the forecast for tomorrow. Today, it's just this morning, though. Most of today is going to be dry, but not the brightest day. Heavier rain tomorrow, but dry for Thanksgiving. That is the good news as we look ahead to the holiday. Temperatures are in the 30s this morning and 40s, depending on where you are, but everybody's above freezing. That is the good news, although we're getting a little closer to the freezing mark in Peru as well as Richmond here this morning, but I'm not expecting these temperatures to drop much more here throughout the course of the morning hours. And the reason why I point out it's important that we're above freezing is we have some precipitation moving through the area. It's generally been some light rain in and around the metro area. We have this heavier shower there between Greenwood and the Franklin area, and then there's a light shower as you work your way up Meridian Street here into Nora and even Washington Township area, and then off to the west some scattered showers in Brownsburg over towards Danville down into the Mooresville area, and then some pockets of moderate rainfall as you start to work up I-65 here north of Lebanon. That's probably the heaviest or probably the most difficult spot for travel currently, but this is all moving through pretty quickly. And then as we work our way a little further to the north, you do notice a little mixing taking place as we mix in some snowflakes. Here's the good news, though. Even if you see a snowflake or two, it's going to hit the ground. It's just going to melt away. It's not really going to cause much of an issue here this morning. And this band of rain, it's only with us for another couple hours as it works its way through the area from west to east. The center of low pressure is back here off to our west, and that's going to pass between Chicago and Green Bay. But this is the first of what will be 2 waves of rain heading our way over the next about 36 to 48 hours. So we'll start off with today's rain. By 11 a.m., it's mainly in northern and eastern locations. And this afternoon and evening, as I mentioned, mostly cloudy skies. Not a whole lot going on as far as any precipitation. Temperatures will be in the upper 40s for your afternoon highs today. Now this evening, we're still dry. Sunset is at 5:23. Temperatures will be in the mid 40s going into the day. Tomorrow, though, we start to bring in scattered showers and storms, but it's all rain with temperatures that will be in the 50s. So no threat of any snow or ice for the Thanksgiving pre-travel day. If you are traveling anywhere here across the area, we'll be dealing with mild conditions, but pretty wet conditions. So keep that in mind. The rain comes back in overnight. This is 5:30 now tomorrow morning, so about 4 hours from now. And we're dealing with the first wave come through, and then throughout the morning, more rain showers off and on throughout the afternoon, a little bit of a break. So I do think the heaviest of the rain is going to be throughout the morning hours into the noon hours, and then it's lighter throughout the afternoon and evening, but still could cause some issues. It's definitely a day you want to have the umbrella handy. Thanksgiving Day. 54 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. And it's pretty quiet for Friday and Saturday with temperatures in the mid-50s. Only to get much colder, it looks like, by Monday and Tuesday of next week, when we may have to be talking about some rain and or snow showers, Lauren, across the area.
All right, Tom, thank you. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads this morning. This is I-65 up near Whitestown at State Road 334. You can see traffic there is getting heavier, as you can see by all the headlights moving across your screen, but it looks like things traveling northbound and southbound on the interstate there on 65 are traveling up to speed. No issues to slow you down. So let's head a little bit closer to downtown Indy. This is on the north side, I-65 and 30th Street, where traffic is moving along smoothly. No crashes to slow you down at this early hour. Raphael?
So people are really worried about shopping on Black Friday and really for the rest of the holiday season because of the pandemic. A survey done by the accounting firm Deloitte shows that 57% are nervous about going into stores because of COVID-19. 61% plan to do their Black Friday shopping online this year. That's compared to 54% who plan to go to the stores. 3/4 of those surveyed will stay out of stores completely this week to avoid large crowds. Many retailers planned for fewer shoppers and started their Black Friday deals earlier this month.
So this morning, the official White House Christmas tree is at the president's residence. The First Lady, Melania Trump, welcomed the tree on Monday. The tradition dating back to 1966. It includes a horse-drawn carriage bringing the tree to the north portico of the White House. This year's tree comes from the National Christmas Tree Association's grand champion grower Dan and Ann Taylor. This tree is an 18-foot tall Fraser fir. It will be put up in the historic Blue Room of the White House this holiday season. Raphael, you know, I've been to the White House during Christmas time. A dream come true for a girl like me, as you know.
I know. And not to outdo the White House, but memo to the staff there on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Lauren had her Christmas tree up in September. So just saying, Lauren had her tree up first. A local nurse is getting a surprise fit for a hero. After the break, one store is showing a woman her life-saving work is worthy of being honored. Her story next, right here on Good Morning Indiana.
Welcome back, Raphael. A local Hoosier healthcare worker got a really sweet surprise at the beginning of her shift at Ascension St. Vincent Hospital.
This was really great. I wish I could just see her expression when this happened. We were there as a local bridal shop, Marie Gabrielle Couture, presented Takoa Knight, a nurse, the gift of a beautiful designer wedding dress. Take a look.
I'm really surprised, but very thankful. Yeah, I can't wait. It's been kind of a roller coaster in the hospital, but definitely getting married on October 1st.
In a beautiful dress.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of our bride, doctors and nurses and healthcare service people for years. This is one way to say really thank you. All of us from Mary Gabriel, just simply we want to say thank you.
Last month, we told you about a contest to nominate a soon-to-be bride frontline worker. Well, Marie Gabrielle Couture was chosen by Pronovius, a wedding dress designer, to honor a COVID-19 frontline worker with a gown for her big day, and it happened. Takoa's future sister-in-law and her fiancé were also at the hospital Monday night for the big surprise. And by the way, all the brides who were nominated will receive a special coupon as a thank you for all they do to help our community during this pandemic. And by the way, Todd Clausen, you may not know this, but now I'm an official officiant. So if they want me to do the wedding, I can do it for free. They got the dress, and now they can have the officiant. I mean, hey.
I'm an officiant too, Raphael, so they're just going to have to choose between you or I. So, you know,
we could both do it.
We're gonna, yeah, all right, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. All right, outside right now, we are dealing with the rain showers moving through parts of the area. I know a lot of you haven't seen these showers throughout the morning hours here, but especially from Indianapolis to the northwest, you have, and you see these pockets of moderate rainfall near Lafayette, over towards the Frankfort area, just north of Lebanon here as well. So this is probably impacting I-65 north of Indy, and then I-74 to the west of Indy the most here this morning. We'll deal with these rain showers throughout the morning hours, but by this afternoon, we're just dealing with cloudy skies. So the wettest part of the day is just the next couple hours, and then temperatures will be in the 40s as we get into the afternoon. More rain chances tomorrow. In fact, we could be dealing with some flooding tomorrow, as well as thunderstorms. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you so much. An Indianapolis-based diagnostics company changing up the way it does its COVID-19 test. Coming up in the next half hour, where the new test will not require a nasal swab.
Plus, the Marion County Health Department will host a drive-through flu clinic this afternoon. New in the next 15 minutes, how today's event is helping the department plan for a coronavirus vaccine. It is 5:57 on your Tuesday. Stick around. We'll be right back.